Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of my videos, and I'm glad that you join us today in 2024. I hope you had a really good festive period. I hope you had a great Christmas if you celebrate it, or you had a great New Year's Day. I for one had some amazing time spending time with my family, so it was a really nice Christmas break for me. But here we are, we're now in 2024, which means a brand new year, which means to do brand new puzzles. And I share with you a few puzzles today. Now, I've made a decision. I'm going to try and see if I can try and solve the daily chess.com puzzle every single day. But not just that. I also would like to... I got an email on the 1st of January from the American Chess Magazine, which basically said, here are some puzzles and we'll send you one every day. And I was like, number one... when did I sign up to the American Chess Magazine? I don't remember doing this. But number two, a puzzle every day? Amazing. I will solve it and I'll send my solutions to the American Chess Magazine. It'll be awesome. Maybe they can give me a shout out. And maybe chess.com can give me a shout out. I'm going to try and avoid doing daily uploads just simply because I have tried to do it in the past. I remember a couple of years ago I did about 30 days of uploads of trying to do a daily puzzle. It's too difficult with my work schedule. Sometimes my work schedule can be really busy at some times, and I'll be honest with you, I'll finish work and I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to do any solving of anything. So what I'm going to try to do instead is I'll try and see if I can do it daily, but if I can't, I might do maybe multiple puzzles in one day. So for example, it's already the 2nd, I've already missed the first day, I was obviously away doing some various things. So this is why I'm going to solve these 4 puzzles instead. Okay, right, enough blabbering. Let's go through the first puzzle. So this is the first daily puzzle. Hopefully you've been able to solve it. This was not a particularly difficult one. It's a Monday puzzle, so normally shouldn't cause too many issues here. Now, the challenge for white here is that black is threatening just basically a perpetual with these rooks. So if you thought about, oh, let me just going to promote this pawn to a queen, let's say, well, this is just going to fail to the fact that black is actually going to get checkmated here, in fact, with the 2 rooks. So you've got to find forcing moves here. So the first move has definitely got to be some sort of checking move. And you'll begin to realise, well, there isn't really that many checking moves. There's in fact only one checking move that seems to make sense in this position. So the move here is rook to b4 check. And in the solution that it gives, I think it just ends up sacrificing a rook here, in which case after the rook goes there, it's quite an easy checkmate solution. Now you're just, well, I say checkmate, it's going to be a nice easy position now, as after you exchange of the rooks, the threat of checkmate is now gone and you can promote this queen. If, let's say, the king were to move, which I think would have been a more interesting solution to kind of keep things going, I think even against this, quite simply, I think you just promote the queen. I don't think there's anything else here, as well, put it simply, he can't throw in any of these checks. As now our rook's got out of the way of the queen, we can now capture this rook quite easily. So not too bad, that first one. Okay, let's have a look at day number 2. Now day number 2, I probably spent about a minute, I'll be honest with you, but once you kind of see the solution, is actually not too bad. And I think the reason it took me a bit of time was I was looking at some various different checks along this diagonal, and I just couldn't get anything to work. And then when I kind of realised what the solution was, I was like, oh, okay, actually, it's not too bad. So I guess with this one, what you need to realise is that black is in a very precarious situation. The king is not the safest king in the world. And, you know, we'll be looking at sort of doing some stuff with this queen potentially on f7. So really, to kind of solve this one, we want to try and see if we can get this sort of queen move to work somehow. And, you know, you might have kind of gone a little bit stuck after this move, where you kind of go, oh, but there's not really much here left. Can I do any more attack here against the rook? If I take here, for example, well, even against this, I mean, actually black is well defended enough to survive this back row issue. However, there's one move that works here, and it's all to do with this nasty X-ray tactic that white has here in this position. So you'll notice that this rook is pinning this rook, but it's also, if anything were to go onto this back rack, it will be indirectly defending that piece. It's what we call an X-ray, and in this instance it's called a defensive X-ray. So the solution to this one is actually the very strong back row move, queen to f8 with check. And the problem with this is obviously if the rook were to capture it, then you get checkmate on the back rank. Very, very nice. So I hope you enjoyed those two appetizers. Now let's go on to the harder puzzles. Let's have a look. Now, I'm not going to exaggerate here, but the American Chess Magazine puzzles that were sent to me on the first, oh my god, they are difficult. Okay, this was the first one. I didn't get it right, I'll be honest with you. It just looks like, what is going on in this position? An absolutely bizarre puzzle. This one I think comes from Metsovic, I think back in 1970. You will see the composer's name, so you can check out some of his other ones. I think he's actually done quite a few puzzles. I think I've actually featured a couple on this channel before. It's white to move, checkmate in 2. Give it a pause if you want to try and solve it. But yeah, let's have a look at this one together. So, I guess firstly you need to actually find where your kings are. So you've got the white king here and you've got the black king over here. And what I first found a little bit tricky is the fact that, well, white has always got these potential checks here from these two pieces on these light squares. But the good news is that if that does happen, it doesn't matter too much, as we've got this knight that can jump in to save the day and throw a check here. Or if, let's say, if whatever happens with this, you can then recapture with this knight to give a check. But then there comes kind of like an extra, I guess, issue as to how do we find a useful check here, because there really isn't a check here that you can do. I mean, if you try and put the bishop here, for example, and you think, yes, I've got the solution, this is so easy, well, this knight here jumps in to save the day. And you begin to kind of realise that there really isn't any good checks here. I mean, you might try and throw a queen here, but, oh, sorry, the knight can then recapture here. And that's pretty much the end of all of the useful checks for white. So it turns out that the solution to this one is a really very hard to spot waiting move here. And I guess to try and get this one is to sort of realise, well, these two pieces are useful. This piece is playing a role. This piece is obviously playing the role, as we found out already. This piece actually needs to do something in the sense that if this knight were to ever come here, you've got a checkmate over here. So you start to realise that a lot of white's pieces are doing quite useful roles in this position. And even the bishops here, they're doing stuff. They're guarding something, but they are doing something in this position. But you then kind of think to yourself, well, which piece is not really doing a huge amount? And I was drawn to the unusual positioning of this rook here on g8, and I kind of started to kind of go, well, that needs to be doing something. The problem is if you just move it to, let's say, g5, then obviously black can just capture this rook quite easily. But the solution to this, and it's quite, it's beautiful really, this particular one, is to realise, well, this rook needs to maybe generate a threat against the black king that actually can't be stopped. And that move is actually rook to g4. Well done if you found this move. Really, really difficult. Okay, the point of it is this. So firstly, we should talk about, let's have a look at white's checks here in this position. Well, we can't do any checks like this because this knight recaptures with a checkmate. Same with the bishop. This is just a simple checkmate. But the threat is quite simple. We are just going to move this queen here and checkmate on either a4, or we'll do something with the rook and checkmate along here. And there's nothing that white can do in this position. Let's just say, for example, he blocks this one threat with this knight coming here, for example. Well, against this, we can actually just checkmate on a4. Okay, well, let's say we block it with this knight. Let's say, okay, we come here, and now this knight's defended. Doesn't matter. You still get checkmate on b4. And you begin to realise that actually after a few moves, by the way, I should also note, this is checkmate because this knight here is pinned by this rook, so I should mention that. So, so that move works as well. And there's just doesn't seem to be any other ways to stop this. I mean, you might try and put a queen here, defends the knight, but then and it also comes to check, but then obviously that fails to that, as we've already seen. Let's say the queen jumps in the way. That's an interesting one. As here, actually, I'm just trying to work out what the solution would be to this one. Actually, I guess we. Is it just this? Is it this move? Yeah, there we go. So we just checkmate with the thing because the queen has actually come off this this row here. So yeah, there's so many different ways that white can checkmate, and it's basically all to do with either this threat or this threat. Have a go at trying to find all the different solutions, because there's plenty of different moves that black can play. But yeah, an extremely hard puzzle, but a very enjoyable and very satisfying solution when you do find it. All right, now this one. Mwah! Beautiful puzzle, this one, and yeah, it's a really nice one. It's white to move in this one, and what's so good about this particular puzzle is that right now white is in check. This queen is attacking the king. You know, we've got to do something about this, but we've only got a limited amount of moves that we can play here to block this check. We can move the queen here, for example, put the bishops here maybe. And what's happened to my bishop's come a knight, and maybe I could put my bishop back to c7 or block with my rook or whatever it is, or even move my king. But we need to find basically what the correct one is. Now we should maybe rule out the king move straight away, as essentially we can just throw a check in. I think that seems to be a simple solution. Okay, the queen can take back here, but we're not going to get checkmate in 2. I should have mentioned, did I mention it's checkmate in 2? Anyway, it's checkmate in 2. So we can rule out these king moves straight away. And yeah, we should also rule out this rook move as quite simply, well, we just take here. So we now just got 2 pieces left that white can play here. And I originally thought that most of these should work. Now the first one I looked at was like, okay, bishop c7. This has got to be good, because okay, this comes with a check on, there's a discover check on the king, and he's got no time to take this bishop because obviously there's this issue with the check. But obviously I then realized, oh, but as soon as I move this bishop away, like so, oops, if I go here, then the queen just captures this rook. This comes with check. We're not going to get our solution that we liked, okay? It's not check, sorry, I mean it just comes with that. And it doesn't matter what white plays in this position. Let's say he moves in with a check like this. Okay, he's going to get some sort of checkmate in 4, but it's not going to be a checkmate in the desired number. The same issue with obviously the bishop coming here. Once again, we've got this move, and okay, it's great. You know, you've got maybe checks like here. Oh, that works actually. Hold on a minute. Why does that one not work again? Did I miss something in that solution? Can I not just take? Well, can I just take? Oh, I see. It comes with check though. Why does that not work? Can I just? Oh. That's interesting. Okay, I moved the king. Sorry, apologies. I completely forgot what the solution was for that one. And okay, against that, I mean, it doesn't matter where the queen goes. It can't go here because we can take back with the knight. And even if, let's just say, just for argument's sake, I mean, you can't even play something like this. This looks really good, but the knight can just jump in the way, just a nick. Same if over here, where we move our king over to c5. So the king gets out just in the nick of time. So that's the problem with that bishop move there. So the solution, well, I should say it's a queen move. Queen to c7 is not the move, obviously. That runs into nastiness after that check. And okay, you get this in. Oh, that is checkmate though. And maybe, sorry, not that move. I will do this move instead. There we go. That's better. And even after this, doesn't matter because queen takes here. Gets out in the nick of time. So, so that move doesn't work. So it turns out the solution is the bizarre, and I mean bizarre looking queen to c6. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is the point. Well, okay, firstly, we should mention that this is check, so we can't take any of these pieces over here. You can move the king up, but this just runs into, this move here, which would be checkmate with b6. Note that the queen is pinned here, so that's why you've got to move the bishop. So that's checkmate there. So that king move doesn't work. If black tries anything else, well, I mean, if he takes the queen, that's the obvious move here. We've got this very stunning bishop to c7, blocking the check, delivering a counter checkmate against the black king. Really, really nice puzzles. I hope you enjoyed solving these with me today. As I say, I'll try and see if I can post a few of these on my blog or whatever on my channel for you to check out. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll maybe show a few more of these puzzles. Well, I don't know if I'll show all of them, but maybe I'll show some of the best that I see through the week. We will see. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye.